Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today we are looking at the sixth grade concept of wholes, parts, and percents. This is standard 6.5b in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 14 of the 2025 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have an employee's starting salary at $36,000. And so the employee will receive a 3% increase. So what is the amount of this 3% increase? So we've got this 3% increase, and it's going to be less than $36,000. And you notice our answers are all less than $36,000. Right? 100% would be the $36,000. 3% is going to be a lot less. So let's think about it. 3%. Percent is really per 100, because that's what cent means is 100. So 3 per 100 can be viewed like this. So 3% is 3/100ths, or 3 out of 100. That's what that means. And so if we want to, we can set up, a proportion, right? We could be thinking, all right, so if 3 out of 100 is that 3%, and we need to find the output x, the unknown amount out of our total of 36,000, right? Well, we've got the proportion we're looking for, and so we can use cross multiplication. We can know that we are going to be multiplying by, if we take these zeros off, it's 1 times 360, so we're multiplying by 360, so that's our scale factor. So we could do that. We could multiply by 360, and that's going to be 18, 1080, so that works. If you didn't necessarily see it like that, you can do, like I said, cross multiplication, though it will involve a little bit of division at the end. So we can multiply our 36,000 times 3, 0, 0, 0, 18. It's what we got earlier, but we had the extra zeros. Then we're going to need to end up dividing this by 100, right? Because that's the 100x, right? But when we divide by zeros, what do? We just take these zeros off. So we end up with our 1080 or 1080. But that's not even the most efficient way to do it. So we found it two different ways. If we know that 3% is 3 per 100, and that 3/100ths, let's take this to the next level, can also be written as 0.03. So 0.03 equals 3 over 100 equals 3%. Well, what we could do is we know that we're going to take that percent of our total, which means we can multiply. So we can take our total, what is this? 36,000. And we can multiply by 0.03. And really, we don't need that 0 in the front. We're not going to multiply by it. We're using it because it's going to hold a place value for us. But this is probably the most efficient version, is to transform that percent into a decimal and then just multiply it by 36,000. Because now we're going to do the same multiplication we've done multiple times. We're going to have 3 zeros. The 3 times 8 is going to be our 18. 3 times 3 is 9. Add that 1 is 10. It's that same problem we've run into several times. What we do now is we look at how many digits are behind the decimal in my factors altogether. There's nothing behind the decimal in 36,000. I've got 2 digits behind the decimal in my 0.03. I'm not going to waste my time multiplying by the 0 because it's just going to give me a whole bunch of zeros. So that's why I only multiply by the 3. So I need 2 digits behind the decimal in my product, and there we go. It's that same answer we keep getting. So 3 different ways we can solve this. Probably the most efficient would be just to change the percent to a decimal and then multiply. So 1080. Be careful that we're not choosing A. A has got one extra zero we don't need. The answer here is going to be C.